So I have the same question for these two gals. In your initial contact with a buyer or seller, and based in this short period of time where you've done a ton of business, what are some key things that you're looking for that's a trend in people who go from contact to closed?
Motivation is really key for me. I'm learning now that pre-qualifications and making sure people are really motivated to sell is really what drives them from a lead to contact to a closing table. Because if someone's not motivated to sell or buy, they're no matter what changes, they're not going to buy or sell unless they're truly motivated.
So what are some of those conversations like? What is it you're listening for when you're talking to a prospect?
Well, when I cold call, I really want to know why they're selling. That's the main reason why. Oh, I'm going through a divorce. I have this debt that needs to be paid off by this certain date, or I need to relocate for a job. I need to leave out the house because I'm getting a divorce. Those are kind of the key things that I'm looking for. And then I just build a report from there. And then I try to get in their door that same day to set an appointment and get a signed contract.
What about people who say things to you like, I want my price, or can you get me X price? I'll sign with you today if you get me X price.
My thing about that is that I don't take any listing that I don't think I can sell. So I think meeting expectations is really important. I know some agents will take a listing and they know that it's overpriced. They'll stick their sign in their yard and just pray for a price reduction. With price reductions, I feel that if I have a lot of those, I try to refrain from them. It kind of lacks confidence in my client. So I always make sure that head on our first conversation is what the realistic pricing strategy would be for this market. Because I want to earn my business through honesty and integrity versus over promising and under delivering. So I always make sure that we all are on the same page, so there's no disappointment in the end and I get a bad review. No one wants that. So, and if they want to set price, I just, make sure that this might not be the market for them, but I always keep that relationship.
I don't want to repeat the same thing, so it's 90% exactly what you just said. However, some seller may agree with the market price, because I cannot be entitled of the price, the market that's priced your home, but they still want to try and price it over where they think it's going to sell. So with those kind of sellers, you just need a little bit of patience. So what I do is, let's say for example, the house is worth $275, they want to list at $285. I would tell her, we're gonna list at $280, but you and I agree that the market says your home is worth $275. So if in case we do not have any movement in the next 2 years, 2 weeks, do you agree to sign an amendment to improve the price? If they say yes, okay, would you mind signing the amendment right now with the anticipated dates, so actually we can drop the price by the time? But if everything goes well with your price, we are good to go, and I will still try to negotiate for the highest amount. So that's the only difference that I do.
So you actually get the price reduction amendment signed at the listing appointment?
Yes, I just did one, and we closed yesterday.
Another thing that you've been doing is attracting buyers from out of state. How do you know when they're serious, and how do you know when they're just going on a tour?
So Jasmine knows me. I don't waste my time. I hate to say that, but sometimes buyers can be a waste of time. I don't really focus on buyers, but I will have to identify your motivation. Someone can say they already have multiple houses. They can say, I just want to buy another home, but you don't have a goal. You don't have a high motivation. So I'm not gonna invest too much of my time with you. Another person, they might say we need more space. We have a lot of kids. We have dogs. That might be a motivation.
So in order for someone to bring in $100,000 in gross commissions in 60 days, do you see how focused you have to be? Almost every person that you talked to during that period of time turned into a transaction. So other than your TikTok, what were some other ways that you were connecting with these prospects who turned into clients?
Cold calling is my main source of lead generation.
Who are you calling?
Expired listings, mainly. I tried for sale by owner. I'm not a big fan of it, but I think I need to work on that. But I would say all my listings were expired listings.
I've heard a lot of people say English is not my first language, or I feel like my accent is too strong. Nobody's going to talk to me. Did you have that experience?
Of course, yes, I did. In fact, And that's an advice that I give anyone. Do not listen to anybody. Listen to your heart, because if I have listened to my heart, I started cold calling when I first got my license, and I went on my first listing presentation. Unfortunately, it was a broker because of cold calling. But I was told that I would get arrested, that they would sue me. I shouldn't be doing that, or my accent is not too great. People won't listen to me. They would think I'm a scammer. Yes, I was told that. So I should have not listened to these people. So yeah.
And what was the first expired listing you took?
Well, the very first expirer who actually started with me was the $1 million listing.
Actually, it was almost 1.2.
Oh, actually 1.2.
She created a bidding war on that home using her pricing strategy.
Yeah.
I got to witness her making these calls. And one of the reasons that I knew that Noemi was going to be an absolute star is I witnessed something that was really upsetting to me. She was making her calls, and someone said some very racist language, cursed at her, and hung up. She laughed, or he didn't hang up. He was still on the phone. She laughed, and she goes, "Sir, do you still need to sell your home?"
Yeah, I mean, he said that you need to go back to your country, and I said, well, I still need to sell your house so I can get my flight ticket to the So, and I still focus on trying to get to this.
Noemi, you're an absolute superstar, and I appreciate you being in my life because of your strength and for sharing your knowledge with us today. I think what you did is really amazing.
Thank you.